Welcome to the Chamber Neighbors Podcast, a show highlighting Chapin's community and commerce. Now here's your hosts, Greater Chapin Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Paul Sadler, and Chapin Neighbors Magazine's Daniel Rendelman.
This is Daniel with the Chapin Neighbors Magazine.
And I'm Paul Sadler with the Greater Chapin Chamber of Commerce.
And Paul, who are we talking to today?
Daniel, we have a treat.
It is a treat for sure.
Yes, we do. Today we are speaking with our friend, fellow Chapin Community Foundation board member, Terri Bauerlin.
Terri, welcome to the Chamber House and the Chamber Neighbors Podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me here. This is a real treat.
It is a treat. It's a treat.
She agreed. It's a treat.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
So, Terri, we're thankful that you're here today, and we just want to get a little bit of information from you about who you are, what you do, and let our listeners know all about this real estate market that's going on and all that. So, tell us about you first. Tell us about
Who is Terri?
Yeah. Who is Terri?
In Southern California. I was a California girl, and my dad worked for the railroad, and he got transferred to Chicago, and that is where I met my husband. And then we moved to Aiken, South Carolina. We lived there from 2000 until 2010, and then we moved to the Columbia area. So we've been here about 11 years.
Okay.
And I've been in real estate 10. So we have a family. I have twin daughters that are 26, and my son is 29. So.
You know, Terri, that's fascinating because I thought you've always been here.
And
you're so involved.
Like a staple
right.
In the Chapin community.
Just 10 years.
Yeah, that is actually surprising. I didn't know.
So surprised.
Yes, I actually joined the chamber when I first moved here.
What a great move,
Yes,
Terri.
I've been here for 2
Good
years
job.
with the chamber, and I serve on the board.
Congratulations. Yes, you did. Thank you for your service.
That's awesome. So you mentioned your husband and
Yes.
children, and his name is
Mark, and he just retired from Dominion Energy.
Right. Exciting times.
Yes.
they are the greatest couple too. When you see them together,
Yeah.
they really are. They really are. So our listeners will have to get to see that someday. So now you are a realtor.
Yes, I am. There's a difference between a real estate agent and a realtor.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm intrigued now and need to know what that difference
Yes.
is.
What is that?
We're bound by code of ethics. So we have to abide by rules and laws, and we're held accountable if we don't follow them.
Like, give me an example of that. Like, what laws or what code of ethics are you bound to? And do you raise your right hand when you became a realtor?
Yes.
Oh, you do.
Yes,
How cool is that?
there are many things, but we are bound by contracts. We have to tell the truth. We cannot lie or
Yeah.
fudge things.
Sounds
Yes.
pretty good.
Better than our government officials.
No comment. No comment. Moving right along.
Yeah.
So you have these standards
Yeah.
that not all agents may have,
That's correct.
and you can also say that you are a realtor.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And we also are able to have extra training and designations with our license, which I do have.
You have quite a few, Terri. So I'm looking at your signature from
Yes.
your email, and it's like the entire alphabet after your name. So that must mean you've got quite a few
I thought she was like a counselor or something.
certifications or something. Yeah, are you a counselor?
Sir, but I do train new agents in my office.
Ooh.
I'm the Agent Leadership Council in our
Wow.
office. Yes, I serve on the board there, basically.
Wow.
Yes.
SRS, ABR, RENE,
Yes.
PSA.
MRP,
Yes, so-
ALC,
Yes.
all of these, ABCEFG.
This is a selling representative specialist. So I learn extra things to help my sellers. It's the most money for their home.
Let me guess what ABR is.
Yes. Yes.
Advanced Buyer Realtor.
Accredited buyer representative.
I was close.
You were close.
I was close.
You were close.
It's exciting, Terri. It sounds like so you've got a lot of education. So only being in this industry for the last 10, 11 years, seems like you've come a long way. Why did you choose to get into the real estate business?
Well, I've always enjoyed my first home I actually bought it wasn't a foreclosure, but it was in disrepair. And I found that I moved into the home in disrepair, and I enjoyed fixing it up. I painted it, I changed flooring, I had some, vendors help me do things, but I did a lot of my own stuff and helped fix up my house. And then I sold it and bought another house and fixed it up. And
Wow.
I rented one out, and this was in my 20s, and I really enjoyed it. During the same time, I was working as a merchandise manager for J.C. Penney.
Mhm.
Worked for them for 13 years.
Oh my.
So I really love sales. I love marketing. I
And it
love
sounds like you love
helping people.
DIY.
Yes, do it myself. But I like helping people. That's the main reason I got into it. Every day is a
Mm,
different story.
mhm.
I like working with the community and showing them our lovely town of Chapin
Right,
and the community and
right.
what we have to offer. There's a lot here that is fun and exciting.
And
And
anyone that knows Terry just can sense that heart that comes
mhm,
out.
mhm.
That there's caring. There's so much joy, from your smile, and just you can just feel it just in your presence, Terry. And I feel that when you're making a decision to buy a home, that is usually the largest investment that people have, right?
Absolutely. It's very important. And believe it or not, some people don't understand this, but over 70 people touch a transaction.
Wow.
Yes.
70, that's a lot
Yeah,
of
that
people.
is.
I don't even want to know how many that. I mean,
So,
that's a lot.
so yes, all their
Right,
people
right.
at the mortgage company to attorneys and all their people,
Hmm.
title companies. We have inspectors, all
Wow.
sorts of things.
So what kind of home, what, like, so you sell any homes,
Yes.
but like, do you specialize in anything, or is it just here in Chapin, Columbia, Lexington? What's your go-to?
So I love listing people's homes and helping them sell. I also help people buy.
Okay.
I work by referral, so I help people.
Mhm.
People know me, they call me, and I help them. So it doesn't matter whether it's a first-time home buyer, somebody that's buying on the lake. I'm very helpful with all those people. So
And you're with Keller Williams,
yes, Keller Williams
and
Realty.
you want to tell us a little bit about the history of Keller Williams and the group or company there?
Yes. So Keller Williams was founded by Gary Keller and Joe Williams in 1983, and they are a privately owned company. And they grew to now one of the top companies in the world. We have over 200,000 people, 1,100 offices, and I really like the models that they use and believe in. Their God, family, and then business, which I really
I
think
like
that's
that.
important.
That is
Yes,
important.
yes. And then their mission statement is to build careers worth having, businesses worth winning, lives worth living, and legacies worth leaving. So I thought that's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is really
And the
cool.
culture at Keller Williams is, people know about. I mean, I know about that. I
Yes.
don't work there, but
Right.
I've heard so many great stories and read about those. Now, is it just you that does the sales? You also have an office out of Columbia. But you said you do some training?
Yes, I haven't. My office is in Columbia, near the Harbison area. I also have a home office in Chapin. I live in Timberlake, and depending on where my day takes me, I may do some paperwork at home. Maybe showing homes in Chapin. I stay
Hmm.
at my home office, so it just takes me back and forth, depending on what my day looks like. I service Chapin as well as the whole Columbia area, and including Lake Murray.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that have changed over the last couple of years,
Yes, absolutely.
with COVID and
Yes.
post-COVID now. Can you just tell us what the market looks like now, and maybe like where it has changed over the last couple of years? Because I remember friends would put their house on the market and within minutes
Mhm.
would be sold. Are we still looking like that, or what's it looking like today?
Okay, well, during COVID, believe it or not, that really changed a lot of things with real estate. You would think that it wouldn't have done well, but surprisingly, we were needed. A lot of people needed a bigger home. They were working from home. They needed more space. The kids were home. So COVID, I started doing videoing, a lot of
Hmm.
videoing. I did virtual open houses on Facebook, and
Wow.
I also have an app that I use that I can use my cell phone and video a home. And I walk through the home like I'm talking to the person that is with me.
No way.
Like, oh, there's a smell, or there's a stain in the carpet, or, oh, look at this beautiful feature of this home.
Hmm.
And the cool thing about this app that I use is that it downloads in really very quickly and condenses the file. So I could literally text the video, within minutes to
Wow.
my seller. And some people were doing FaceTime, but then they can't go back and look at the
Right.
video and
Right.
pause and rewind and see it again. So that was a really cool
Huh.
feature. I sold so many homes without people seeing it, and which was crazy.
Wow.
I have a
That
funny,
is crazy.
I do have a crazy story about
Oh, hey, we
COVID.
like crazy
Okay,
stories.
let's hear it.
93-year-old couple that their kids put them in assisted living, tricked them into assisted living.
Oh no.
They were very functional, high functional. They could bathe themselves, feed themselves, cook, garden, and they wanted to try to save them some money by putting them there. They were in lockdown with COVID. She calls me and she said, "Get me out of here." I said, "What can I do to help?" So I listened to her, and so I told her that I could send her some homes in the price range that she's looking. She says, "Well, I have a laptop, but I can't get my email." I go, "Well, what kind of email do you have?" She says, "I have Gmail." I said, "Perfect. I can walk you through how to get your email on your phone. I mean, on your computer." So we walked through it, and believe it or not, she was very savvy. She got it done. Sent them
93.
homes. So then she says, "I want to pay cash for this home." So I sent her a video. She saw the video. She said, "That's the house." So I really believe it was a God thing with them
Yeah.
because they did let me in. They weren't letting people into the assisted living. They pretty much were on lockdown, but they did let me in with a mask and gloves. I went to a conference table. I talked to her and her husband, showed them the video, did the paperwork. They did not see the home until the day before we closed.
Wow.
And the couple, they taught English as not English as a second language. They taught reading to people that didn't know how to read.
Okay. Wow.
And that were illiterate, reading illiterate. And the name of the street was Reading Street.
What?
It was just meant to be.
It was
Exactly.
meant to be.
And
Wow.
they moved in, loved it because she was able to cook spaghetti or whatever she wanted for her husband. They lived there for 2 years, and then it was time for them to go to somewhere different. It was too much for them, but they did it on their own terms. And she found a better place that wasn't as expensive, that fit their needs. And I sold their home again. And
How about that?
yeah, and he passed away since, but she's still around, and she's a very special person.
What I hear is relationships.
Yes.
I just hear like going the extra mile. Who would do that?
Yeah, this day and age, it's to have that sort of one-on-one
Right.
relationship with somebody. It's rare. It's rare, and so it sounds like you're doing a great job in that department.
Are homes kind of flying as they used to, or is it slowed down a little?
They are selling, still value is being held, slowing down a tad as far as the days on the market. We're not having 20 to 30 offers like we were the last 2 years, but the value is still there. And I know we're going to get to this soon, but some of the misconceptions are interest rates. And
Well, let's talk about those.
Yeah.
Let's talk about interest rates.
My interest is high.
Okay.
Mine too. That was good, Daniel. What a segue.
It's not that high, Daniel.
But it's interesting.
Got it. So currently, and I'll say currently, but 7%, that may change, go up or down, obviously. But a statistic that we just learned recently is 70% of the people that own homes own 50% of the home, 50% equity. Okay.
Wow.
So something to think about is if you take that equity out of your home and buy another home and put all that equity into that other home, you could essentially have a lower house payment, a bigger home, right? Even though your interest rate is slightly higher, you're having more income because your house payment is lower.
Because of the equity that you have.
Because of the equity. Or if you are toting some debt with credit card and you have a lot of equity in your home, you could still put a large down payment from your equity, pay off your debt, and then have more cash flow.
Wow.
This is fascinating. So it sounds like a conversation with Terri is needed.
Yeah.
If there's just a slight interest in a home, or just what does my financials look like? So with the interest rates, is it for people say, oh, I don't want to buy a house now. I want to wait till they go down.
Mhm.
It sounds like that might not be the best.
That might not be the case. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball, and it is an election year. Sometimes that plays a factor. But the thing is if you are currently renting, you're paying 100% interest. You're not getting any equity. You're
Mhm.
paying someone else's mortgage,
Mhm.
right? So if you own your own home and you have 50% equity and you do have debt, it's possible that you can have a lower house payment, pay off your debt, even though your interest rate's a little higher. You have more cash flow and you still have that equity.
Yeah. Wow. Huh. Very
Learning so
cool.
much.
We're still
Learning
wealth
so much.
of knowledge here. So Terry, tell us a little bit more about you and what Terry does when Terry's not selling homes here in Chapin.
I do volunteer in the community. As you said, I'm
Yep.
on the Greater Chapin Community Foundation Board.
Yes.
We help.
It's
that.
so good to serve.
Yes, it
with
is.
Actually, all three of us.
Us.
Uh,
Foundation.
Daniel.
Yes, we. Yeah. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I also like to cook. My sister
Ooh.
competes in food competitions, and the
Ooh.
last
Against you or other people? Okay.
against each other. So, last couple of years, she's been in the world food competition, and I've helped be a sous chef there. So that's been kind of fun.
Wow.
But I do love cooking. My family has celiac disease, a lot of them, and so I have to cook gluten free all the time. But I enjoy
Oh.
cooking and creating things for them that they can't get out in the restaurant world.
Mhm.
Fried chicken or some things that you don't
Fried
realize
chicken
that.
sounds
Oh
good.
yeah, things that pizza, just things that
Yeah.
we take for granted when you can
Yeah.
eat wheat that they
Absolutely.
can't. So I enjoy cooking. I enjoy growing herbs and things like that in the garden.
We've seen you on the golf course as well.
Yeah.
The chamber there on that one. I am not a big.
Oh, hey, if you are out there hitting that little white ball, Terry, you are a golfer. It doesn't
Enjoy.
matter how good or not
Yes.
that you are.
Yes.
You're still a golfer.
I look forward to doing more of that.
So you're also a partner of the Greater Chapin Chamber, and then you
Yes.
said that you were a board member of the
Yes.
chamber. And
Yes.
why choose to continue to be a chamber partner?
I love the chamber because I get to know other businesses in the community about them, especially new businesses coming to our community so that I can share them with my clients. Just a network of great people. I've built a lot of relationships over the last 10 years. I've received business, and that's not the ultimate goal. It's more about networking, knowing the community. But by doing that, it's helped my business.
That's so key. Just your activity. And when we think about the Chamber of Commerce, that there's so many events and things that are going on, but people have to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so wonderful to see you at those events, and
Right.
and as you said, networking, getting to know people so that they build those relationships, and then they can refer you.
It's
Is
almost like the word of the day, relationships,
Mm.
right? It
Right.
doesn't matter what we do, whether we're publishing a magazine, running a chamber, or selling a home.
Right.
It's all about
relational.
relationships. And if you don't have that relation with that person, 9 times out of 10, you're just not going to be able to do business with people.
Mhm.
But that's the word
And
of the day.
and when you think about relationships, you also think of hardships. Is there
Yeah.
any hardships that you've been able to overcome with your business?
I think, well, it wasn't necessarily a hardship, but COVID was definitely a learning curve.
Mhm.
And just the multiple offers and how to maneuver for your client and win. There were some challenges there, but there were some tricks and some things that I learned through that process that, that was kind of one of the challenging things.
Right, because you didn't get days off as a realtor during COVID.
No.
You didn't sit on the couch and watch
And-
all of Netflix.
And honestly, you probably didn't get any training pre-COVID on how to handle a
Right.
pandemic and selling real estate. I don't think
Exactly.
any of these letters after your name is like post-COVID realtor. They
Right.
should now. But like, so I mean, yeah, I mean, that's tough.
Yes,
That's
BC
tough.
before COVID.
BC before COVID, BC post COVID.
That's funny.
I love it. What is one thing that you wish people knew about that real estate business that you run?
That we aren't just here to make money. A lot of people think we're here just because we get the big check. There's a lot of hours involved. We actually don't get paid until we get to the closing table. So
Mm.
everybody I put in my car, I use my gas, I use my time. I'll show houses, I'll video. if I'm listing your home, I'm marketing your home, I'm paying for marketing. My goal is to help you reach your goal. And it's not about the money. Yes, of course, I do it for a living, but it's not about the money. It's about helping people. But we don't get paid until we get to the closing table.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't realize that.
That could be a long time.
Yes,
right?
it can be.
Can be.
And may not happen.
Right, and it may not happen. Somebody changes their mind, and that's part of doing the business that I do. I understand that, but ultimately, it's in the long run, it's worth it for me because I'm helping people, and most people that are serious will do it. There's some steps that we also want to make sure that people are qualified before they start looking. We don't just put someone in our car and start opening doors. It's more than that. We're providing a service and not just opening doors. People need to be serious when they do decide to start looking at homes. They need to make sure that financially they're ready to do that, that they can afford it. Talk to a mortgage lender to make sure that their finances are where they need to be, their credit score is where it needs to be, what their interest rate's going to look like before they even get to me. And if they don't, then I put them with those people before I put them in my car.
This has been such a fascinating conversation, Terri. How can our listeners learn more about you?
Absolutely. I on social media, Terri Bauerlin on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on all the social media platforms. You can find me on my website, www.terribauerlin.com, which is TerriBauerlin.com.
Okay, and we'll drop that in the comments and notes here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Terri, thank you so much for talking with us
Thank you.
today.
It's
It's been a pleasure talking with you and getting to know all about you and real estate.
Thank you so much.
We hope our listeners will get to know you. Check out that link as well, and just have a conversation about relationships with Terri. We are excited about to have podcast today.
This has been the Chapin Neighbors Podcast, where we highlight all that makes our community special. We hope you enjoyed our time together. Please like, subscribe, and share the Chapin Chamber Neighbors Podcast.